What is up, guys? So picking this video up right from where we left off, reason being is I'm trying to stack as much content as possible so that way I can keep up with the Friday uploads on the Cobra. I wanted to do this walk around because I've done a lot of the point of view driving. I don't want to get you guys burned out on that view. So today we're doing 5 things I hate. Now, to be very clear, I don't hate this car. If I hated it, I wouldn't own it, but there are definitely some things that I'm not the biggest fan of. So some of these are going to be specifically about my exact car, and then others will be just the 03, 04 Cobras in general. So first up, the number one thing that I hate, and I use hate lightly, is the interior. I love the seats, but everything else feels like the V6 model. Now, I get it. You're not buying this car for the interior, so I can't really fault it for that, but you don't feel like it's special on the inside. Like when you jump into the 05, like with the premium interior, so I have the leather and all that stuff, like that feels like relatively like up to date. It's a little dated nowadays, but you get what I'm saying. Whereas you jump in this and you feel like it's ancient. Like I swear to God, this car probably has spiders in it. That's how old it feels. But it's just all plasticky, you know, things crack, or not crack, but creak. I mean, that's to be expected of an older car, so I'm not overly concerned, but it is one of those things where it'd be nice if they would have done something a little bit more special with the interior. Number 2, I don't like, or I hate how expensive parts are, specifically the OEM parts. So if you guys are familiar with the 03, 04 Cobras, front lips, extremely expensive. I believe they go for about $300, the plastic lip down here. Because my car is somewhat low, I don't know how well that's gonna pick it up on camera, but it is toasted. This car's been scraped a lot, so that's frustrating, but for a piece of plastic, I'm not spending $300, and I also don't plan on putting on like the Mach 1 shin spoiler or the, I think it's called like the Magic Drift or something, where it like pokes out. It just looks kind of goofy, so keeping that one. I thought about maybe having my boys sand it down and paint it, but I don't know how that's gonna look. Another part that's extremely expensive and probably the most notorious for breaking on the 03, 04 Cobras is this bad boy right here. Good old third brake light. So these are extremely common for braking, whether it be if you're pushing the car, if you close the trunk too hard, but most importantly is if you over tighten these little screws right here, it'll just snap them. So yeah, I bought the car like this. Those I believe also go for around $300. There's a few companies that sell them aftermarket that are like sequential for like $160. I'll get one eventually because it does bug me, but at the same time I really don't want to spend $160 just to put it on and it crack again, because that would be the biggest waste of money ever. So I'm gonna hold off on that, but that is extremely annoying. Number 3 things that I hate is the community. So I know in the last video I said I loved it because I met some wonderful friends, but on the flip side there's also a lot of just complete assholes that don't want to help and put you down. So when I posted my car for the first time, I'd say a good 70% of it was just hating on the fact that mine was 5-speed swapped with the 3650. And to be honest, I understood. I get it. It's not an OEM transmission when the T56 is so sought after. So a lot of people were shit talking that. And it is what it is. I have pretty thick skin. But it's just, the community is really hit or miss, man. It depends on who you surround yourself with. So my advice would be get a good group of people, find them, like make your own little, make your own group chat or something and just stick to that. You know, I love the Facebook groups in the respect that I can troubleshoot a question. I can just key it into the search bar without even having to ask, and odds are someone's had a similar thing. So that's a plus, but overall, most of the people that I've dealt with, not most, I'd say between 50 to 60% are assholes. And that goes for any community, I'm sure. You have your good people and your bad people. Number 4, things that I hate about the 03, 04 Cobras is what people expect. Now you're probably thinking, Evan, what the hell do you mean? I feel like you can't own this car if you don't beat on it. So I'm probably one of the very, very few people that I drive this car because I enjoy it. I don't take it to the track. I don't beat on it. You know, funny enough, I've never taken this car past 5,000 RPMs. And people are like, Evan, why would you own this car? Why do you have a 15-inch in the back if you're not gonna, beat on it? Why? What's the, for me, it's about the experience. Like, I don't care if I'm running a 14-second quarter mile. Not that this car would ever run that with me driving probably. But this car, I just love the experience, the sound, like shifting gears, because the 05, the daily is automatic. So this is just such a good experience, but I hate, if I drive it somewhere, people are like, do this, do that. Or I post a picture, what's your track times? How much horsepower are you running? This, that, and the other. And it's like, damn, it's not that serious, man. Like, I feel like it's always a race with this car. I always have to be doing something. I just want to enjoy it. I don't really care about the other shit. So, I mean, that's specifically this car. Granted, I kind of get it because of how I've had it set up, you know, with that rear tire. It's inviting and it gives off that appearance. But honestly, I do think it is needed. I could have gone with a different tire on my 17s and it probably would have been just fine, but I love how the 15s look. It just looks absolutely menacing. So enough on that topic. I hate the prices that these cars are going for, man. Like, to be honest, I'm gonna do a whole nother video on this compared to the Coyote, but spending over like $24,000-$25,000 on these cars, I don't think it's worth it, to be honest, unless you're keeping it for like resale purposes. But the Coyote platform is just so damn good and stout. It just doesn't make sense, really. I mean, these things, yeah, with a couple bolt-ons, you're making decent, you know, decent steam, but you know, these people that are asking 40, 50, 60,000 for low mileage ones, it's like, there's no way. You never want to drive it. So the market has gone crazy on these. I get it. They're limited. They're special. If you don't know about them, you kind of got to do some research on them to see what makes them special, because, you know, back in those days, which I was still super young, I didn't know what these were because I was probably like 7 or 8. But these things are monsters for the, like, they were monsters back then. And to this day, they still hold up pretty well, but the Coyote platforms specifically, you know, Gen 2, Gen 3, they're so good. They're so good. That is probably the next car I want to add to the channel, is to get into a Coyote. I'm a big fan of the Gen 1s. I love the 13, 14s. If I get this job here soon, that's probably going to be the third vehicle. But I don't want to get too off topic. But yeah, number 6 is just how much the market's inflated on these. It's going to start getting to the point where they're going to be unobtainable for most people, because you can't really get a loan on these unless you do, like, I think it's called like Lightstream or something. It's like a personal loan. And I don't know. My opinion is if you can't buy these outright, don't do it, because when shit breaks, it's not going to be cheap, and then you're going to be SOL. And so many of these cars get parted out. It's sad. I mean, I'd love to know like an updated statistic on how many of these are truly left. You know, a lot of these have turned into drag cars. A lot of them have been wrecked, parted out, torn up, you name it. I don't think there's, you know, really a whole ton left. But I'm rambling. I'm gonna cut this here, guys. Thank you so much. Like I said, please drop a comment with what you guys do not like or hate about the 03, 04 Cobras. And if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. I really appreciate it. Channel's growing quick. No idea when this video is going to be going up, just because I'm stockpiling these for winter. But either way, really greatly appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a good one. Later.